Hello, marry me. So I watched a video that today about atheist witchcraft, and that sort of gave me the idea to bring up this topic. Now, I am not gonna call this atheist magic because there's so many different opinions about what actually atheism is. For example, what the woman who made that video referred to as atheist witchcraft, I would not have called so because she was still working with spirit. She was still working with energies, partly sentient energies, and to me, that then isn't atheism. To me, atheism isn't just that you don't have a God in the biblical sense, but also basically that you don't see that there is a higher power and so on. You don't believe that. But anyway, this isn't really a video about the definition of atheism. It is about non-supernatural magic. And I have a few atheist friends who are also occultists. And many people say, but how could I be that? They don't believe in anything supernatural, any higher power. And basically, this is what I want to discuss today. It's more like a presentation of some potential paradigms for doing that. Because I also have some friends that are interested in magic, but they say, but I don't believe in anything supernatural. And I'm saying that you don't need to believe in the supernatural to practice magic. Now, most of those I know that have a non-supernatural view of magic, they are practicing the mental model. Now, I have briefly touched the models of magic before. Basically, it is 4 plus 1 um, categories that magic falls into. You have the spirit model, which is basically magic is the cooperation, uh, worship, control, and so on of spirits. Basically, the magician is somebody who uh, have the ability to contact spirits and get them to do things for him or her. Then you have the energy model, which is basically magic is caused by manipulating, channeling, affecting, and so on, controlling energies. Think Star Wars. That's a good example of the energy model. Then you have the information model, which views basically, to dumb it down a bit, reality more or less as a computer, where basically where you basically believe everything is information, and by changing the information, you can change reality. You have the meta model, which is basically just taking one or more, or all for that matter, of these models and combining them. So basically, your mix and match model, and then you have the mental model. And the mental model, you magic as a construct of your mind. Um, for example, many mental model magicians subscribe to Carl Jung's ideas of the collective subconscious. Others, like one person I know, have a very simple way that he views magic, even if he doesn't believe it's anything supernatural. He believes that magic affects your subconscious and that the subconscious is very powerful. So let's say he does a spell to get rich. He don't believe that there are any supernatural powers that he then contacts and put in motion to bring him wealth, but he believes he uh, just plants that idea of seeking wealth in his subconscious so that um, basically it will lead him down a path that will more likely result in wealth. Um, for example, it then put any information that could be beneficial to that goal in the forefront and so on. Basically, our minds are fantastic tools, and it filters out a lot of information. we see and hear and smell and experience so much more than we consciously get control over, because the mind filters out what isn't important to avoid us just getting information overload. And this is basically what is being done with at least this paradigm within that I'm talking about now within mental magic. Basically, that you say, okay, seek riches, and then every bit of information that you might just have passed otherwise, that would just have been filed away as not that important, that can possibly lead to you getting more wealthy, it will just pop up in the forefront. And the same then with divination. He does divinations, but he doesn't believe there's something supernatural behind it. What he believes is that basically advanced cold reading, more or less, basically believe that he notices so much about another person that his conscious mind filters out, and by the help of the tarot or dowsing or whatever system he decides to use, he can access that and therefore be able to uh, predict the future. Though, of course, it isn't, like I said, supernatural, but it can predict the future, and it can also then tell a lot about a person here and now. And that is a very interesting paradigm. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is that there are a lot of people who are very skeptical to our claims that there are supernatural forces in this world that we can interact with. But to me, very often when I get into arguments with these people, I bring up these paradigms and I say, well, this isn't the main paradigm I personally work in. See, there are ways that you can explain magic, supernatural powers, divination, and so on from a non supernatural point of view. And while it might not explain everything, I really believe that there is a lot of things you can do just working out from the mental model and the idea that the subconscious is an amazing tool that can be used, and that by programming yourself, and you will be able to affect the world around you. So let's say you would work a spell within this paradigm. Let's say you want to get a job. You want to get a good job. So you do a spell for that. And a friend of mine's paradigm will then work something like that. He believes that the ritual and all of the things around it helps basically get the message across to the subconscious. It's a way to talk with the subconscious. And then, once the spell is done, that sort of is on the forefront um, of the subconscious mind, so that it will spot opportunities that the conscious mind won't. Another concept is the idea of the collective subconscious. No, not everybody believes in that, but there's a lot of high-ranking and highly appreciated psychiatrists and psychologists who do believe in this concept, which is basically that we have the conscious mind, the everyday waking mind, and of course we have the subconscious that comes to the forefront in dreams and basically the part of our minds that we might not be consciously aware of. And then we have a collective subconscious that we all share. And here is where we have the archetypes, where we have all of these things. And you can learn a lot, for example, about a person by accessing them within the collective subconscious. And you can also make a lot of changes to yourself and or others by affecting them through the collective subconscious. So basically working with the mental model, it is completely possible to be an occultist, to be a magician, and not believe in supernatural. Of course, you can do this with other models as well. I'm using the mental model as an example. And to me, very often when I discuss with atheists, I find it much more easier to get them to respect my opinion and to understand it by saying, look here, while this might not be exactly what I believe, it is possible to explain what I do with non-supernatural means. So yeah, there are of course also supernatural ways to work with the mental model. There are millions and billions of possible paradigms within each model, of course, but I just mentioned two versions here that has a non-supernatural way to look at it. And yeah, it's you can also read a lot about this if you read Vivian Crowley's Wicca, the Old Religion in the New Millennium. She is a psychiatrist and writes very much from the perspective of the mental model. So yeah, I definitely think that you can have atheist magic. I think that you can see magic as supernatural. You can see it as dealing with an unseen force, but you can also see it as a way to contact your own mind, a way to communicate with those parts of yourself that you might not have conscious control over, and that is an important tool that you can use to affect real changes in the life and in the world around you. Another way to look at this is, for example, placebo. No, placebos work. Basically, if I strongly believe that if I rub my head with a dirty sock morning and evening, that will cure eye infection. There is a decent chance it will. And medical science recognizes this. This is why they do a lot of the testing to see if something is more effective than placebo, because placebo is actually effective. And that's an argument that many use against alternative therapies. That yeah, but it's just placebo. Sure, people got healed, people got better, but it's just placebo. And then I have a tendency to say, and so? As long as, I mean, I'm result-centric, meaning if it worked, wonderful. It's just an academic interest as to why did it work. And I believe that it is possible to consciously use that to basically make yourself believe something and try to achieve a placebo. Now, of course, using these systems is easier to affect yourself than the world around you. And as you also believe, of course, like I do, that by affecting yourself you can affect the world around you, but then you get into the more spiritual and supernatural aspects very quickly. However, if you change yourself, if you change your perception, if you change your attitude, if you manage to heal yourself, if you get a greater control of your own mind, then you can use that a lot to, if you can change yourself, then you can sort of take care of the rest. So let's say a love spell. How this would then work is that a spell might then dissolve issues and blocks you have in your mind that prevents you from finding love. And it might also subtly change your behavior so that it's easier for you to attract the person that you are looking for, or the type of person that you're looking for. And while that then your ritual then isn't seen as affecting anything outside of you, that you change your perspective and how you view things will then benefit you and actually affect things around you, because by changing your behavior, you change how others react to you. So, about any kind of spell can also be done from the perspective that what you are doing is that you're influencing your own mind, making it better, making your affecting your subconscious to make yourself subconsciously try to attract what you're looking for. And that can be an extremely powerful tool, even if you don't believe in the supernatural. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Have a great day and blessed be.